Have you wanted to set your print book up on pre-order? Well, you're in luck because today we're going to continue our self-publishing books off Amazon series, and pre-orders for print books is one of the many options on Barnes & Noble Press. So stick around. Hey Write Writers, Keith Wheeler here, and if you want to continue to get all the hints, tips, and tricks on how to make self-publishing easier, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, smash your little bell icon so you get alerted every time I put out a new video. Well, Barnes & Noble Press, formerly known as Nook Press, is another great option for self-publishing books off Amazon. While yes, you can use an aggregator like Draft2Digital, Smashwords, and even PublishDrive to upload to Barnes & Noble, publishing on Barnes & Noble directly can ensure that you maximize your royalties. Okay, enough jibber jabber. Let's flip the screen around and get started. First thing we need to do is go to press.barnesandnoble.com and set up our account. If you don't already have one, it's fairly intuitive. I already have an account. I've been using it for probably about 6 or 7 months. So I'm going to go to the default page, which is projects, and create a new book. I have the option to create a print book or an ebook. In this case, I'm going to go with a print book. Click next. I'm going to put in my title. As I've said in previous videos, I actually keep an Excel spreadsheet. It's off screen right now, but it has all of my information for my book. It makes it super easy to upload fairly quickly. So I'm just going to copy and paste that over. Now, do I want to sell my book or do I want to keep it personal? Keeping it personal is if it's something that you want to do for yourself or for your family, but I definitely want to sell my book, so I'm going to do that. Do you want this book to be set up on pre-order? This is a great thing that Barnes & Noble does that a lot of other print-on-demand sites do not, and that is allow for a pre-order for a paperback or hardcover book. In this particular case, I do not want to do a pre-order, but if I do, I can just click yes. I'm going to click no, and this is something that I can actually go back and change later. So if you are undecided, that's not a big deal. Now it's time to choose my book size and my type. The estimated page count for this children's book is going to be 18 to 50 pages. The page size is 8.5 by 8.5. The print interior, now because this is a picture book, I definitely want to make sure that it's full premium color. Do I want a paperback or hardcover with printed case? I already have a paperback, so I want to do a hardcover. And for all of my picture books, I always do gloss finish, but that's completely up to you. Because of the choices I made, mainly because of the full premium color, the only paper option I have is white, the 70-pound white, so we're going to go with that. And as you can see, my printing cost per book is going to be $8.88, which compared to Lulu, if you saw that video that I did last week, it was around $13. So you may want to go in and check out your different options and see which works best with your budget. Save and continue. All right, it's time to prepare that interior. Now it's going to show you a brief overview of what your interior is going to look like as far as your margins and your bleed. You can select or deselect any of these. You can also click on the question mark to get more information. Now you can click continue, which I'm going to do, and this will give you more in-depth step-by-step help. But if you are already familiar with the process, you can just go to skip to upload your file, but we're going to do everything. So we're going to click continue. And it shows you how to prepare your images. You want to make sure that you have 300 DPI. You don't want the lower DPI. 72 DPI is fine for an ebook, but for paperback, you definitely want the highest quality so there's no pixelation. So you want to go with the 300 DPI. Click continue. Tells you how to embed your fonts. Gives you a little example here. And if you want more information, you can click on this. Again, if at any point you want to just skip to the upload process, you can do that. I'm going to click continue. This shows you how to save your file into a PDF format. Again, if you want more information, click show me how. And now it's time to upload our interior. Just going to drag and drop it. Or you could select from your computer, but for me, I have it open on the other screen. It's so much easier to drag and drop. This process can be a little time consuming, so I'm just going to fast forward. Next up, it's time to review my interior file. I can download the proof, which is just going to be a PDF file. I'm going to scroll down and let's see what we've got here. Remember to include the new ISBN for your book that you're uploading. Make sure that you update that in your interior of your book, because your paperback and your hardcover are going to have two completely different ISBNs. So you want to keep that in mind and make sure that you update your interior accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through each page. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. When you're completely done and you've reviewed it all, you just click this box right here. It says, I have reviewed and approved my manuscript. So keep an eye on that. Depending on your browser, this box may not be as visible. So just make sure that you remember to do that, or you're not going to get the option to save and continue. Okay, next up, it's time to work on that cover. Now you can either upload a front and back cover separately, or you can upload your full cover file, which is what I have. So I'm going to click on that, click save and continue. Now, similar to the interior, it's going to give you all the information you absolutely possibly could need when it comes to formatting your cover. It's going to give you the cover size, the cover width, the margins, the bleed, the barcode area, and the spine. And you can again deselect or select any of these, hover over the question marks, everything I said before for the interior, but now it's for your cover. Now, something that should be noted, because you're dealing with a hardcover and because every site is slightly different, these margins, these bleeds are not the same as it would be for KDP. So keep that in mind and make sure you update your cover accordingly. Again, I could skip directly to the upload your file, but I'm going to click continue, and you can see again, it's telling you about your images. Once again, you want to get 300 DPI. Again, you want to embed your fonts. That way none of your text or anything gets shifted in the printing process. Again, gives you a little screenshot as to how to do it. If you need more information, once again, click right here. Click continue. It's going to show you how to save your file as a PDF. And now it's time to upload my cover. Again, I can either select it from my computer or I can drag and drop it. Big surprise, I'm going to go with drag and drop. Now it's time to review our cover, and we can download the cover and get the PDF file of it. We can review the full cover, which is what we have here. We can do just the back cover if we want, just the front cover, or just the spine. Especially if you have words or images on your spine, you definitely want to make sure that you pay close attention to that. But I'm going to go for the full cover. Everything looks good. Everything is within the lines. That little bit's not a big deal. Okay, so once again, I'm going to click I have reviewed and approve my cover. Now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the book, where we're going to actually start putting in all these details. Now, it defaults to giving the title. There is no subtitle for this book, so I'm good. Publisher name is going to default to my name, but if I wanted to go under a pen name, I could just change that. Not a big deal. We have to set a publication date. Now, here's an option where before I said I didn't want to pre-order. If I change my mind, I can just select this, and it asks me if I'm sure. No, I'm not sure, because I don't want to put it on pre-order. I do have to select a publication date. Now I'm going to put it as today because I want to do it as soon as possible, which is May 7th, 2020. This is a first edition, so I don't have to put anything here or here. Is this book part of a series? It is. I'll click yes. It is part of the My Buddy Knows series. It is book 4. Then here's our book description. This is the default book description. Once again, I'm going to go over to my Excel spreadsheet. That in here, as you can see, there is HTML that you can use. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to, just for sake of time, I'm just going to highlight and bold the first line and the last line. Those are the two most important anyway. You can do a quick preview and see how that looks. Okay, now there's an option for a longer book description. This shows up in certain areas, but not everywhere. So if you have a longer book description that you want to include, you can feel free to put it here. For the sake of time, I'm not going to because it's not required. Now, author and contributors. Obviously, I'm the author, so I'm going to put in my name. And my role is an author. You can add up to 5 contributors. If I wanted to put an author bio, I can absolutely do that here. Again, you can add some HTML. I'm going to save and continue. Now it's time to pick that target audience. We want to make sure we make it as easy as possible for our customers to find our book. So my audience is kids, but your options are kids, young adult, teens, general adult, and mature audiences. So I'm going to go with kids. My age range is going to be 3 to 5. and the language is going to be English. Now it's time to choose them categories, and this book is a nonfiction book, and I can either search for categories or I can use the drop down. I'm just going to use the drop down, and this one does have animals in it, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to pick subcategory, and you definitely want to peruse here, and again, try to get as detailed as you can for your book so your audience can really find your book. Unfortunately, this particular book has all different types of animals, so I have to select general. You can select up to 5 different categories, so I'm going to go in here, I'm going to click another one, and I want to stick with kids, obviously, but it's also a concept book, and I know there's a concept book option in here somewhere. There we go. Learning basic concepts. There we go. Again, this is general. Here we are in keywords, and we want to make sure that we actually go onto Barnes & Noble in incognito mode and do a search for what people are searching for on that particular platform, because it may differ from what is on Amazon. So just for the sake of time, I'm actually just going to put one keyword in here for now, but you can put your keywords in here and you comma separate them, save and continue. Now this is what the retail price is going to be as a default. And with that, I get a whole whopping 73 cents royalty. So I'm actually going to do 2 things. One is I'm going to up this so that way it's just under the $1. It's just more aesthetically pleasing for the consumer. And I want to make at least $2 per book. So I'm going to up this to $16.95. As you can see, I'll make $2.02 off each book sold. Save and continue. Is the content in this book in the public domain? No, it is not. Do you have an existing version of this title available for sale on barnesandnoble.com via another distributor? So for example, if you have your book up on KDP and you picked expanded distribution, or if you're on lulu.com and you selected global distribution, in either of those cases, there's a good chance it might be on Barnes & Noble. So if that's the case, you just select yes, and you enter in the other print ISBN so they can make sure that there's only one instance of it. If it's a different type of book, then they might be able to link them together. So you definitely want to make sure that you answer this accurately. Select no and save and continue. If you have editorial reviews, which is a great thing to have, really add some validity to your book, you definitely want to add that in here. So I actually did make a recent change on my account here on Barnes & Noble Press, and so that's why I'm not able to add in my ISBN number right here, but this is the page that you would do that on. I'm actually going to go back and update that when they've approved the changes that I've made. Again, this is where you would put your ISBN. One thing to note is that Barnes & Noble does not offer a free ISBN, so you will need to buy your own ISBN in order to upload a physical book here on Barnes & Noble Press. Save and continue. Now it's asking me for my publisher name, which it defaults to my name, and publisher website. Now your publisher name is required. If you don't have a publisher name, you just enter your own name. Publisher website is not required, but I absolutely suggest adding it in because it's just one more way that you can have traffic pushed towards your website. Save and continue. This is the part where you go in and you do your banking and taxing information. So I'm going to skip this part. Now it's time to review the print book summary. So again, we'll just go through step by step and make sure that the book size and type are accurate, page count's correct, the cover finish, all that. That's the right interior, that's the right cover. Make sure that your details are all accurate. Again, these are things you can always go in and edit either now or later. Because I wasn't able to put in my ISBN and because I made the change to my vendor account, I'm not able to actually see the print button. But if everything looked fine, I would just go down here and I would click print and send for review. And that's it. That's all you need to do to get your book up on Barnes & Noble Press. Now that you've gotten your book uploaded, have you considered the audiobook? Maybe even narrating the audiobook yourself. Check out this video right here where we discuss narrating your own book. Or you can check out this video that YouTube has lined up and they think you'll love. I'll catch you in the next video, and remember to write right.